Hello everybody and welcome to GameGuru MAX live broadcast number 88, and also welcome to release week. So before I go any further, want to make sure that at least one person out there can hear me speak. I have a live chat going. You can't see the window, but I can. I'm looking for a response just to make sure that everyone is okay with the sound of my voice. My sound levels are looking good from my diagnosis panel. Just want to make sure that it ain't just me talking to myself. So if anyone can actually post in the live chat that you can hear me, that would be awesome. We can hear you, Lee. Thank you very much. All those who've now just posted, I guess there is around a 10-second lag between this, me, live, and what you get to see and chat about. So as I mentioned, this is our release week. It's the release of the early access version of GameGuru MAX. Our team is very excited. We're looking forward to having this big moment where we can reveal a version that you can play with. But rest assured, the very next day, we'll continue to work on more things and fixes and updates and tweaks. So this isn't the last day come Friday. It's simply a milestone that we've put a flag into the future. And so we hope you look forward to Friday. The release will be 2 p.m. GMT on Friday, the 25th of March. So if you are eagerly awaiting your Steam key, check out for that date and time. Now this broadcast, as per usual, and has been a long-running habit, but we've formalised it into two sections. A demo session part, where I get to demonstrate something, and then a second part, which is our Q&A, where you get to ask your questions, I get to answer them. But just an extra bit of flavour, we have team members on the chat, live chat right now, so you can ask your questions at any time. The questions that can be answered, they will be answered right away. And any questions that cannot be answered because I have to be the one to answer them, they will be reposted at the end of the demo session as part of the Q&A session. So hopefully that makes sense. You understand the format of this broadcast. So let's crack on, launch the software and see what we can see. As indeed the last few broadcasts, I demonstrated one of our demo projects. This will be no different. This time I'm going to pick around to a game show. Where will it stop? I'm going to show you this one. Snowy Mountain Stroll. It was one of, at the time, in the last 2 months, last couple of many weeks, one of the biggest levels that we had to demonstrate. And boy, did it give us a headache making sure that it could load quick, save quick, the test level process was quick. The nav mesh originally was huge, but we managed, Paul managed to get that down to 0 seconds of processing time. So as you can see, we start off in some sort of smoky old bunker, and I presume that big ladder takes us to this level. Now, as is my custom, I will shut up. I will go through this level so you can see what Snowy Mountain Stroll looks like, maybe interject with a few comments as they occur, or if there's something very particular related to GameGuru MAX and the AI that we've been working on ceaselessly for the last couple of weeks, months, and possibly a year. So let's crack on. So it didn't take me long to interject. That ladder script was contributed by a third party from the community. We did not write it. This, I think, is version 18 of the ladder behavior, and I dare say we will see that script improve over time. So thank you very much, community, for providing us with ladders. Now let's crack on and see how far we get before we get shot. Enemies. Ammo. Rifle. Reload. shotgun.
What was that noise?
Hey, you! Anyone there? You're not allowed here. Huh? Hear that? There! Out here.
Sneaky bugger. Alright, switch to primary weapon.
What was that noise?
Contact! Hey, you! There! Anyone there? You're not allowed here.
Ah. I guess we both had reload problems there.
Huh? Hey, you!
What we got? A bit more in here. Okay, remember there was an issue with running different running speeds, whether you're going uphill, downhill, up ramps, down ramps. Well, all that's been solved now. Makes that a bit easier. Thanks for all the exploding barrels, wizard. Yeah, God, you gotta love exploding barrels. Now, collect ammo. Right, that was that weapon. No, it wasn't. It was that weapon. Better. Okay. Just to mention, whilst I'm strolling, different weapons can control your movement speed. So you must have a bit quicker with the shotgun, quicker still with the pistol. If you were carrying around like a rocket launcher in the future, you'd be walking very slow indeed. Okay, this is now first interesting tower. So we can creep up here, see what's going on.
Anyone there?
Yep, I'm here. I think there is a weapon up here.
Hey, you!
Sniper, isn't it? No, just ammo.
Hey, you.
Hello. Welcome to my pistol. And yeah, as you see, enemies can run up watchtowers after you now. And you saw the bird taking off. Small improvements yet on the birds. Maybe some feathers, maybe different directions, different timings, different squawks. Everything is up for improvement. Okay, here we go. Reload everything. But I'm going to choose weapon of choice, AK. Barrels. I think we're too far away. Thank you. Thank you for playing. Okay, where are I? Ammo. Okay, great. This is the very end of the level. I think actually there was a message there, wasn't there? Switch off the communicator tower and make your way to the bunker. So. And bye-bye, buddy. This is the bunker. Boom. And we're inside. Now, if this was a full game, that wooden door would open and you go into level 2 and create your own game from there. But you get the idea. That was Snowy Mountain Stroll by Wizard of ID. Very good, very long. I apologise. It was like, I hoped I could get it done in 10 minutes. But I would spend a lot of time running with the AK, so it ended up taking 13 minutes. But you get the idea. That's another one of our demos. They're not ever intended to be full-on, full-blown, full-size games. Merely demonstrations of what you can actually do with GameGuru MAX. So that's my demo for this week. As always, I will be here every Wednesday demonstrating more things. I think once I've gone through all of the demo projects, and there is more on the way, I will start demonstrating more in the kin of the how-tos. How to do this, how to do that, how to do the other. If you want to make your requests as to what you're interested in seeing me sort of create in GameGuru MAX, then that's more for the cause. Because rather than something coming out of my head, it's something that the community genuinely wants to know about and wants to see it in detail, live and in colour. So I'm going to switch over to the part 2 now, which of course is answering your remaining questions. I'll drag over the chat window. I'm going to go up to the top. I'm only doing this just to make sure that I'm not alone in this. And you may have got one of your answers. Great, Zach. Thank you for joining. And thank you for reading the questions and perhaps answering a few. We have an official GameGuru logo joining. I don't know who's behind the logo, but it's another official one. And of course, Sam. Thank you very much, Sam, as well. He's one of our team members for answering any questions that he can answer as well. So now I'm going to go straight back to the bottom and I'm going to wait. No, I'm going to wait for the next question. No, I'm going to look at the last question and go from there. So any questions that were not able to be answered, just repost them, please, and I'll get to them. So we are looking for a question mark. Not seen any, so I'm going to go up the page now until I find the first question mark. And I think I got to the top of the page. When is releasing? That is a question from Smarter. We is releasing on the 25th of March 2022, which for the layman is 2 days from now at 2 p.m. GMT. That was an easy question. Thank you very much. Please bring me more easy questions. What's the next one? This is from Tom. On Friday, do pre-order users just update as usual, or do we need to download Steam version? I think you could do both. I mean, obviously, we've been working on the auto updater / tiny installer for quite some time. So yes, it does mean that on Friday, you just click, yes, I'd like to update. When the software prompts you, it will get you the early access version. So you'll have that post 2 p.m. on GMT on Friday. But yeah, if you wanted it on Steam, we've also been working on that. And if you want it in your Steam catalog, anyone who's pre-ordered gets a Steam key, and you can insert that Steam key, and then that version obviously needs to be downloaded again because Steam does it all in one massive go. And then you can have it on Steam if you want. So it's both. It's both ways. So looking for the next question mark. This is from Zirath. Is this Rick behind GameGuru logo? I don't know. You'll have to ask the GameGuru logo, I'm afraid. Another question from Smarty. Price question mark. What a great question. I actually have been so busy writing the software, I don't even remember how much it costs. I think it's $49.99 retail before discounts. I think that's where we are. But hopefully the GameGuru logo will be able to shed actual light on the answer to that one. This is another question from Lusitanian. Lee for pre-order users that require Steam keys. Will we get key? Yes, you will get key. 3 question marks. Lustanzian, Friday question mark. Yes, this Friday, this year, 2022. Next question. I don't think there's a question mark on it, but it looks like it's forming a question. Bouncy Sky 152. Message retracted. Hey, there's nothing like live chat, is there? My questions just disappear right in front of me. And now we're at the end of the live chat. Well, thank you very much for joining me for this 3-minute questions and answers session for GameGuru MAX. I'm only joking. I assume I'm going to leave it at least 30 seconds for some extra questions to be cut and pasted into this live chat. Here's one from Old Gamer. Will the AI have more intelligent evade and accuracy options? More intelligent evade, know exactly what you mean. I think you'd like to see things run for cover, for moving cover, for choosing the better cover or the worse cover, or whether it's better to keep moving than to actually stand on the spot and get shot. That is always been part of my plan, to expand the AI into those edge cases for what you want your character to do. But watch this space after March. We're in discussions internally about how we can best achieve that. And it may not be best achieved by just having one person create every possible scenario of behavior for a character. So keep an eye out for what we've been thinking about, and when we get to announce it, I think it'd be pretty exciting. And for your second part of the question, accuracy options, I presume you mean the guns. So if you give an enemy a pistol, you want to be able to choose how accurate they are with that weapon, or that shotgun, or how punchy they are with the fists, etc. At the moment, you cannot control that accuracy or that strength, but I think that's pretty vital. So watch out post EA for extra properties which allow you to control that feature. So next question, looking down, it's another one from Bouncy Sky 152. How many notes are in the Easy Scripter? Notes? I don't think we have notes in the Easy Scripter. Do we have an Easy Scripter? If you could rephrase that question, that would be great. I don't know if we have any notes or Easy Scripters in GameGuru MAX at this time. Martin asks what packs are included. Yeah, let us finish the main software first, mate. So obviously we're releasing GameGuru MAX in 2 days' time, our early access version. And we have some packs in the works, but because I've not been the official green light on talking about packs, I've been given the green light to do this broadcast and show GameGuru MAX. I don't want to put my foot in it. If it was just me, the one-man band from 20 odd years ago, absolutely, I have to put both feet in it. But until I get the official nod, I don't really know what I'm allowed to say and when I can say it and to what degree of detail I can go into saying it. So let's just move on swiftly as if it was never asked. This is a question from Chuck. How soon will guides be available for making custom CC parts? I've tried editing some existing parts, but they have no... Yeah, it's a pretty techie subject, creating geometry and rigs and animation sets just to the right kind of stuff that it will work as either weapons or characters. What I want to do is get EA out the door solid. That's my primary goal for this week. Once that's out the door and all the little brush fires have been put out and everything's hunky-dory and everyone's happy and everything's stable, then I want to make it my mission to bring in help from the third parties who want to create additional body parts and weapons and etc. So that will be my top focus after the EA is proved to be stable and successful. But I don't plan to drag it out much longer than, say, mid-April. But don't quote me on that. Okay, so looking for the next question. This is from Michael. Do we all get free copies for watching? No, you do not all get free copies for watching. Nice idea, though. And I do appreciate you tuning in. As I said before, I don't have the official nods for that kind of generosity. If it was just me on my own, yeah, it'd be fine. But it ain't me on my own anymore. Here's a question from Joe. Two questions from Joe. In quick succession, is there going to be a marketplace for GameGuru? Is there going to be on marketplace for GameGuru MAX? There isn't going to be a marketplace that we run. We've tried that before, it didn't work very well. What we're going to do instead is plug you into other marketplaces. Places like Sketchfab and the game asset store. That'll be a very strong integration with GameGuru MAX and of course other stores as well. If you find a model that you like the look of that could be great for your game and it's in GLTF or FBX or OBJ format with appropriate textures, then we want you to buy that model, import it into GameGuru MAX and use it. And use it as a game ready asset, not as some 3 million polygon monstrosity that just slows your game down to a crawl. So that's kind of one of the things we want to keep our eye on. So no, we won't have our own marketplace, but we'll be plugging into and supporting the best marketplaces out there so you can get the assets that you want for your game level. Here's a question from Zorgo. Will it be possible to have textures added to custom model parts in the model importer for various textures without the automatic detection of model parts? Otherwise, tons of no-name parts appear. Very techie question. I've been warned against diving into a rabbit hole on questions that become very techie. But the surface answer to that is absolutely. You should be able to import a model and then choose different textures for that model. And we actually added something which is like select all limbs of a model and texture all the limbs with a single action instead of having to go through what might be 56 separate subparts to a model. So we've made steps to make that process easier, and of course right now you can customize those textures. But if there's something like an edge case, something specific that we're currently not doing, please let us know in the form of an issue report on our issues board. Label it down as a feature request, and then we get to look at it and see, is this something we really need for our model importer? And if everyone agrees, then we'll add it in. So, question marks. Now, the question mark is from Zirath. I tried importing Classic into Max. None of them work. Is this not going to be possible, or is this something that will change in the future, or is it an import bug? It's an import bug for the most part. We've already done our own experiments of importing lots of Classic models into Max. Work perfectly fine. But you won't get every Classic model into Max. There are differences. There's 7 years of difference potentially between the models you might be trying to import into Max. And Max has an improved system for rendering and managing its objects. So there is going to be some, it won't be 100% forward compatibility. But we're here to help, and if it turns out to be an import bug, then we'll fix it. So please let us know again in the issues board. Looking for a question mark. We found one from Tom. When will the create own behavior button work, please? I clicked it, only get choose a name. Yeah, it's not as intuitive as I would like, but I think we've kind of decided to overhaul it anyway, because I think we could do a better job of the behavior editor and make it more accessible to more people. But what you've just described is actually how it works. You create the behavior, give it a name, and then you assign that to one of your objects, and then when in the test game and the object's running with that behavior, then you can click the behavior editor, and then you can start fleshing out the flowchart style logic sequence that you want for that behavior. And then when you click update behavior, it actually saves what you've created into that blank name that you created. So actually that's how it works. But I agree, it's not super intuitive today. Another question, and straight underneath, in fact, Nomad Soul asks, are you still considering adding Vulkan to Max? Not considering adding Vulkan to Max for March early access, but what I can say is that the underlying graphics technology that we use supports both DirectX 12 and Vulkan. It's always a risky business when you switch graphics APIs, and so we've chosen the best time to experiment with that idea is after EA, because we've got some breathing room to switch to Vulkan. Is it the same? Is it faster? Is it slower? Switch to DirectX 12. Is it faster? Is it slower? Or are there any graphical artifacts or issues that were raised? Remember, all APIs were not born equally, and all abstractions have mileage may vary. So even though we have access to Vulkan, it's not really part of our roadmap, but it's certainly something we're capable of doing with the technology that we have. Here's a question from Whole Gamer. I'm planning on creating a content for GGM. I like it, GGM. Will there be in-depth tutorials and documentation? Sure. The aforementioned guides that I talked about, which lets you create character creator body parts and how to create weapons, those are guides that really delve into the tech of how you create not just the assets and the textures, but how you configure all them, put them in the right folders and name them correctly. And so when you introduce them to GameGuru MAX knows that it's a character or a weapon or a body part. So yes, you'll find that available in our user guide. It'll be online, so it'll be very quick when we update it. So keep an eye out for that, and just have a look at the hub. If you go to the hub and look for the user guide, you'll see where this information will eventually appear. Question, another one from Smarty. What is FPS cap? A frames per second cap is a number that you set, which means if you set it, then your game won't go any faster than that frames per second. We have chosen to cap it at the monitor's refresh rate, which typically could be 60 or 72 or even 100. And the reason we do that is because you don't get something called screen tear. So we synchronize our renders with the raster line of your monitor. And if we didn't do that, the frame could change the frame that it's rendering halfway through that raster cycle. So you'd see the top half of your screen with frame 40 and the bottom half of your screen with frame 41. Not great, especially when you see the tearing. So we lock to, it's called VSync, we lock to the monitor's refresh rate. And I think that's the best solution by default. I think we do have an option to switch it off if you want to have like 500 FPS, if your machine can handle it. But by default, we just lock to VSync. Here's a question from, Zorgo. Any plans on an alternative to the structure editor, a way to make buildings inside an engine which are less blocky? If old one stays, hopefully with possible improvements. Yeah, there has been talk both internally and in the community about if EBE is the best we can do, I don't want to know. For everybody else, EBE is the old term for the structure editor that you can find in the Settings Developer Mode tab, which allows you to create simple structures with floors, walls and ceilings. And then it comes with material settings and collision, and it's pretty fast. And you can create basic buildings with it. But it is an advanced / developer mode feature. The question really is there going to be something in the future which is a lot easier, a lot more intuitive, a lot more expansive, and not necessarily at right angles? Yeah, I think there is a need for that, but we don't really have a strong, clear idea of exactly what that's going to be. So we do encourage the community to continue to talk about that and let us know what kind of thing you're looking for. Are you happy with rectangular rooms and rectangular corridors, or do you want something more freeform? Just be aware, we're not in the business of writing a full-blown 3D modeler. There's other models out there that do a far better job, been working on it for 20 years. Best to just use that than to have us waste our time creating a 3D modeler, not being as good as the stuff that's out there and free, Blender, when we could actually be focusing on GameGuru MAX and getting the AI better and getting the tools that currently don't exist in the marketplace in front of your face and in your hands as quickly as humanly possible. Okay, hopefully that was a comprehensive answer to that one. Another question mark, and it falls down to Acrat. Third person and or camera control. Watch this space. We have been thinking about it. It has been requested continually. We haven't cemented our plans yet. All I'm saying is don't despair. Watch and see what's going to happen in the next 3 months. I think you might be happy. Or you might not. But please stick with us while we get our heads together and we give you some details you can get your teeth into. Now I'm just going to scan down because usually about this point I get a big evil frown from the GameGuru logo that I've been talking too much. Not seen any big evil frown, so I'm going to carry on answering questions. Okay, another one from Zerath. I'm currently creating an attack helicopter model that's flyable in Max. Cool. When it's finished, could I give everything about it to you guys and have it part of the Max? Absolutely. In fact, we've already been doing that for the last 3 months, and it's been awesome. The ladder script, as I mentioned earlier, we had a ladder as part of our roadmap, but it was after early access. But a community member thought, I want my ladders now, and so it kept evolving so thoroughly that we couldn't help but put it in, with the author's permission, of course. So yeah, if you've got an attack helicopter that you can run up to, get in, fly around, shoot things, maybe you can attach some of the weapons that are part of our weapons system, that'd be awesome. So yeah, we'd absolutely love to hear more about that. And we're even happy to help. If it's that last 5% that makes a nice smooth integration or makes what you need to do possible, we'll do it. We'll do it if it makes the software better. Here's a question from Lusitanian. Would you consider making tutorials with the support of the community, not only in English, but in Spanish, French, Portuguese, with the software have a language like Portuguese or French? Believe it or not, we do have translation kit on our roadmap. We feel it is important that we don't just limit ourselves to a singular language. Translation kit, it's not easy, but it's not impossible, and it's not even far-reaching. So we have that on our roadmap. We are looking at that. And any tutorials that we do, it depends how thoroughly we go into our translation kit, but yeah, we're going to put out all the obvious stuff, like all the text you see in the software and all the text you see in the games. I think it should extend to the built-in tutorials, but there's a lot of text, there's a lot of video, so a lot of work. So maybe this translation kit comes in tiers of support for different languages. But again, watch this space. We do have that one on our roadmap. Here's a question from Time51. Will we see breakable glass? Not for March early access. I do feel it is missing. Not just for a cosmetic reason, but you can imagine a pane of glass that you can't get out of a room because the glass is there, but then you find a crowbar and you smash the glass open, then you can jump through the hole. That's gameplay. That's game element. That's game mechanics. I like that kind of stuff. So I would be very surprised if we don't have breaking glass by the end of the year. And I only say the end of the year because I know someone's going to pin me down if I said a specific date. But I will be surprised if we haven't done it by the end of the year. This is a question from Tanner Productions. Didn't a dashing and talented young filmmaker release an in-depth interview of you today? 3 question marks. I believe such an individual did, yes. Seriously, I haven't had time to look at it. Why? Because it's release week. And I've been spending every waking second making sure that this early access build is rock solid. Not for Friday, for Thursday. I don't want to leave it to the last minute to get a solid version out. But I am looking forward to watching it in all its highly professional, polished and edited glory at the weekend. I think it is published, so it's out there. The link is available if you want to find out the inner mind of Lee Bamber. Check that out. Interview. I really enjoyed the interview, so please enjoy that if you can find it. Maybe it gets linked in this chat, who knows? Okay, looking for another question. Oh, here's a new question from Bouncy Sky. Will there be wind zones and lightning? Again, that's on our roadmap. Love the idea of wind because it affects so many things. Trees, grasses, sugar stealers. Could even affect game mechanics if we had it as an element that you could read as part of your own logic. And certainly thunder and lightning. The sound of thunder and the flashing of lightning. So that is on our roadmap. Not for March Early Access, but it will come in 2022. So keep an eye out for that. Because I think now we've got great terrain. What's really missing is that lashing rain and the thunder and the dark and the wet. I think that really set the stage for certain game ideas. Okay, I'm just going to check the clock. We are now at 37 minutes past the hour. What did I say I would do? Probably about 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm probably a couple of minutes away from boring the smeg out of everyone. So I'll pick a couple of more questions and then, yeah, I apologise for the question that didn't get answered. So let's see if we can blast through them quick. Let's see if Lee can be curt in his answers. Suggestion or a question, if you do this, do you have more people? There are many people that do not use the software or play a game because of the language. Absolutely, I agree. You know, English is only a subset of the planet. We should support the planet, not just a subset of the planet. Which format for video zones? MP4 or OGG Vorbis? Last one from me, is there a Discord channel? If not, I'm happy to help create one. Yes, there is. We created it very recently, officially, for GameGuru MAX. Ask somebody else about where it is, but there definitely is one. Question. Got down all the way to this one, Zorgo. When GGM runs about 100 FPS, it causes some weird speed issues, like enemies moving at the speed of light when flanking and extra fast reloads. Please post that as an issues board item, because yes, sometimes we will set a speed and not account for the frame rate. That's a bug. That needs to be corrected. Doesn't matter what your frame rate should be, things should animate and things should move at a consistent game speed. Where do we get new assets and 3D models? We will be releasing booster packs and game kits over the future of GameGuru MAX, but you can also get them from the aforementioned asset store. You can get them from Sketchfab, you can create them yourself in Blender. There's a huge amount of free content out there that is readily importable into GameGuru MAX. All you're going to do is go out, have a bit of a look, drag them in, see if they work. If they don't work, put them on our issue board so we can fix the compatibility, so they'll work very quickly shortly thereafter. Next question, will the roadmap ever be published anywhere, even without dates, just so we know what has officially been accepted or part of the product? Dangerous. Dangerous. I know what you mean, and maybe it's cheeky question to ask, but it's a great question at the same time. It's hard. If we publish a roadmap, and then we'll get nailed to the wall if we don't follow it to the letter, even if there are changes. If one thing takes longer, another thing is no longer relevant. So I think we'll probably err on the side of caution and publish some kind of idea of a roadmap. But we won't have dates on it, but we will give you an idea of what you're going to look forward to. When we release on Steam, there's a section in the early access section where we have to talk about what's coming next. So that's probably a good starting point if you're interested in a roadmap. So go check out that when we release on Steam on the 25th of March. Last question. How will the damage system work in Max? Check out GameGuru MAX. You can shoot a character and the character gets damaged. If you shoot a zombie, the zombie gets damaged. If the zombie comes up to you and grabs you, you get damaged. That's basically how the damage system works. Now, I've just looked, we've hit that 40-minute mark. I'll pick 2 more questions, and I'm sorry you can't ask any more. I've got to go to bed soon. No, I haven't. I'm going to carry on working on the early access version. Next, last 2 questions. Are you going to add a backpack like inventory? For the RPG genre, yes. Not for shooter. We're going to focus on weapons and stuff. But for RPG, you'll be able to pick objects up, put them in your inventory, carry them around, use them later in the game, or craft them for even better weapons, etc. And the final question of our live chat is from Daniel. How do we get keys? You go to Steam and you buy them. Or you go to TGC website and you buy GameGuru MAX. It's entirely your choice. I would highly encourage you and ask you to buy them from our website, because I think we make a little bit more money when that happens. Or you can pre-order right now and get access to a version in 2 days' time. But it's really as broad as long. Whether you pre-order now or whether you buy GameGuru MAX in 2 days' time, you'll kind of get it at the same time. And if you do buy it, you'll get it both as a Steam key, so you can install it into your Steam collection, and you'll also get it as GameGuru MAX installer, which we've been working hard on, which means you don't need Steam, but you can still have all of GameGuru MAX with all of the updates as they happen, immediately delivered to your software. So I apologise for the questions I couldn't get to. I think it's inevitable with a Q&A that we just run out. I've been to many conferences, and there's always more questions than available time for answers. But if you hold on to your questions, I'm happy to answer them next week. I will be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. GMT after our launch of GameGuru MAX, which will release at 2 p.m. GMT on Friday, the 25th of March. So until next Wednesday, wish us luck for our release in 2 days' time, and I'll speak to you all next week. So until then, goodbye.